I'm Akash, and this is your News of the Week for the week of July 3rd to July 10th, 2021. Let's take a look at the stories that we have this week. First of all, we're going to take a look at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics because it will be held without spectators at all. This is coming in the wake of a state of emergency to be declared in Tokyo throughout the entirety of the Olympic Games. And this is primarily happening because COVID-19 is resurging throughout Japan. So, Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga decided to declare this state of emergency in the region and said that this move to not have any spectators and have the Olympics be played behind closed doors, as they call it, he said that this move was made to help prevent Tokyo, the world's largest city by population, to prevent Tokyo from getting COVID-19 once again, especially the Delta variant, which is spreading rapidly all throughout the world. And I'll talk about Delta in just a bit. But this was made to help stop the Olympics from becoming one of those super spreader events that cause a lot of infections. We don't want that, and Japan doesn't want that. So they decided to have the Olympics be played behind closed doors. There will not be any spectators. I mean, it's still going to be broadcast on television. You can watch it from home, but you cannot actually go there to see it in person. So that is some quite sad news for anyone who's bought tickets to go there and witness the Olympics for yourself. But it's not to worry because the Beijing 2022 Olympics will most likely be held without any restrictions, since by that time COVID-19 would have probably subsided. So hopefully, if not here, then maybe we can watch something happen at Beijing in 2022. That's the winter. So now let's take a look at our next story. It's that Zaila Avant-Garde is officially the 2021 Scripps National Spelling Bee champion. She is the very first ever African American champion of the National Spelling Bee. Her winning word was Maria, which is a type of citrus plant. It's a genus. And so in addition to this achievement, she's actually an accomplished basketball player, and she has 3 Guinness World Records in various fields relating to basketball. So this, to be fair, is just a footnote to what can be an amazing career, according to AP writer Ben Knuckles. So this is great. Now let's take a look at our next story for the week, and this is where we talk about COVID-19. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the Delta variant is a major concern. In fact, that is literally what the WHO has listed it as. They've labeled Delta as a variant of concern. And of course, that was just a while ago. Now, Delta variant is now responsible for over half of all the cases in America. Just to give you that scale, the fact that half of the cases, new cases that are coming in every day in America are from this highly contagious variant of COVID-19. So this, well, it is a very perilous situation going on, as in some states it's responsible for over 80% of new cases. And so what is going on here exactly? Well, the reason why the Delta variant is this contagious is because since it's just one of the variants that is very, very, very rapid. That is the most common variant in the world by far, I believe. And so what's going on now is that, for example, we have some words from the senior advisor to President Biden's COVID response team, Adam Slavitt. He formerly served there as a temporary senior advisor, and this is what he had to say. He said something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said something along the lines of, if you can think of the Delta variant as 2020 COVID-19 on steroids. So, given this is literally just COVID-19 on steroids, You can tell that this is very, very rapid and very contagious and very dangerous indeed. So this right here, this is practically, it's almost unstoppable, that is, unless you have the vaccine, unless you are fully vaccinated with any of the doses of the vaccinations, either whether it be Pfizer or Moderna or Johnson & Johnson, or whether it even be Oxford/AstraZeneca. If it's literally any of the vaccines, they're most likely going to be able to help fend off from COVID-19. As Slavit says, if you are vaccinated with any of the vaccines, you will most likely be safe, and COVID-19 and the Delta variant will not present a major harm to you. But then again, make sure to take all the precautions, just in case. Just make sure to take the precautions and stay safe. Now, relating to this vaccine here, even if you do have the vaccine, over time, the efficacy and the immunization, that immunization level will slowly decrease. It will degrade over time, and so slowly your body will turn to normal. That's why you take flu shots every year or so. You have to do that because otherwise your body won't be able to fend off the influenza if you don't take the flu vaccine in a while. So the thing is, same thing is going on here with COVID-19. So Pfizer is saying that they've announced a third booster dose in order to keep things in check and make sure that your body still remembers and reinforces how to fend off COVID-19. So this vaccine is currently they're working on it right now, and they're saying it's pretty good. A Pfizer spokesperson has later said that they're going to be filing a emergency use authorization, EUA, with the US Food and Drug Administration by August. So expect to see one of these third booster doses in a couple months. Now, the next story that I want to talk about relates to the India's COVID-19 situation. Because over the past 2 months, we've seen a gigantic increase in cases, and now we're seeing a gigantic decrease in cases, which is perfect. This is what we want. Now, we've been doing this coverage for about 2 months now, and the thing is, it's now stabilizing, which is great. So we now have only 43,000 cases per day, and 1,000 deaths per day. So this is currently the tally, you can say, that's going on right now. And it's actually pretty good, although we still have a little bit of room to improve on and help just absolutely exterminate COVID-19. So this is great improvement from the 400,000, almost 500,000 cases per day that we've seen all the way back in May. So it's a good thing that things are starting to return back to normal. But then again, remember that the Delta variant and of course its mutation of the mutation Delta Plus are both major variants of concern. So make sure to keep an eye out for those. Now, the next story is one that I am personally super interested in. And it is related to space because Virgin Galactic is finally going to launch astronauts into space. All aboard VSS Unity Mission 22, launching astronauts to space on July 11th, just tomorrow, at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Central Time. This is going to be so awesome. So what's happening here is that Virgin Galactic, the space tourism company, which is owned by Virgin, the gigantic conglomerate, is now sending 6 astronauts, including the CEO of the Virgin conglomerate and Virgin Galactic, therefore Richard Branson, and we're sending 6 astronauts out to space aboard VSS Unity. Now, the way Virgin Galactic does things is a little interesting, and this is because you'd picture this as a sort of plane. Right, it looks quite a lot like a plane, but a plane can normally not actually get up and out into the inner depths of the atmosphere, as you may say. But what's actually happening here is you're having an aircraft on top of an aircraft, which looks like two aircraft just strung together. And what's happening is this is flying off into the air, carrying the aircraft with our 6 astronauts on board, and then this aircraft flies out into space, and that is the plan for VSS Unity Mission 22. Now, I'm extra excited for this for another reason, because Sirisha Banla will be the 3rd Indian American woman and first ever of Telugu origin to fly into space, which is going to be so exciting for me. And plus, she's actually the vice president of Virgin Galactic, which is great. So, all in all, I am super excited for this. And in fact, the CEO of Virgin, Richard Branson, has actually said that once the VSS Unity lands, he has a special announcement to give following the landing of VSS Unity, which is going to be very, very, very exciting. I cannot wait for the launch of VSS Unity 22, one which Virgin Galactic is saying will be the beginning of a new space age. So make sure to watch Virgin Galactic's VSS Unity Mission 22 launch up into space on July 11th. That's tomorrow, July 11th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Central Time. It is going to be so much fun, and I truly cannot wait. Now, let's take a look at a couple more stories here. Our first story for the week. Now, this is another sad story that's going on right now. And there's going to be one more here in our broadcast today. And so, this is actually the fact that the Haitian president, Jovenel Moise, has been assassinated by a group of 28 gunmen who stormed into his residence. This is a very precarious situation that's going on in Haiti. And the reason for this seems to lie in the elections. So this actually needs a little bit of backstory, and we're not sure exactly why this has been done, but this is probably what's going on and the motives behind the attack. So what happened actually seems to relate back to 2015 during the Haitian elections at the time. And in that election, Jovenel Moise, the president of Haiti, managed to win 33% of the vote. But the thing is, this is just below the minimum to guarantee one straight win, which means there was going to be a runoff. Now, this means that the second place in that round decided to contest the vote, and his supporters started protesting. And so the government kept delaying and delaying and delaying the runoff vote until eventually they just straight up annulled it. And so what they did, all the way 2 years afterwards in 2017, was just do another one. So they started it again, and now in this new 2017 election vote, Jovenel Moise won 56% of the vote, which is enough to guarantee one straight win. Now, some people are still angry about this, but the real problems didn't actually start coming until 2021. Now, Jovenel Moise has been involved in quite a couple controversies over the years, ever since he's become president. But in 2021, things have gone up to a heat. Things have gone all the way to one moment. And so what's happened here is that, well, it's election time yet again. But the problem is, people are divided, because some, usually the opponents of Jovenel Moise, are saying that he was technically elected in 2015, so he should be going off this year. Meanwhile, supporters of Jovenel Moise are saying he was inaugurated in 2017, so he should be going off in 2022. And now you have two sides, and some people take it too far and too seriously, and things like this happen, and now the president of Haiti is assassinated. So this is a very tense moments that have led up to such a barbaric event. International condemnation of the attack has followed, and the Haitian government is scrambling to get everything up back to normal and keep things stable. Meanwhile, a manhunt has started because 3 of the 28 suspected assailants have been already killed. Meanwhile, 20 of them have been arrested or detained. So now the manhunt is on to find the 5 remaining members, the 5 remaining assailants, and also to find the masterminds of the attack and to find out their motives. So this right here, this is getting very tense, and it's very dangerous in Haiti right now. And currently the Haitian government is trying its best to get things back to normal, with Claude Joseph now at the helms of the Haitian administration. So this is what's going on in Haiti right now, and I hope that peace and stability will follow soon, and that things will finally return back to normal. It's a very sudden change in politics in Haiti, and I hope things can return back to normal. Now, another story that I want to talk about here actually relates to the Surfside partial condominium collapse back on June 24th. We have some updates regarding the situation. Now, it's confirmed that 79 have been dead, are now dead, as a result of the Surfside collapse. 11 have been injured, and a total of 61 still remain missing and have not been found. So this right here, this situation has escalated quite a lot over the weeks. So what's gone on here is that with the Surfside collapse, what's happened here is that they've started to search for people, and they did actually find one person in the rubble. The thing is, that's the only person that they found in the rubble. The only other people they managed to rescue were the 35 people who were just in the portion of the building which had not collapsed. So what's gone on here is that over time we've tried to find as many people as possible, but eventually the authorities on July 7th pretty much said they gave up on trying to find people alive and shifted the focus of the search from rescue to recovery of the dead. It's presumed now that all the missing have already been killed by the incident. And so what exactly has happened that caused this partial condominium collapse? Well, this is what we probably think happened. We're not sure exactly what, but the different factors have possibly come into play. And a couple of these include water leakage, which caused the degradation of concrete and steel support structures down in the underground parking garage of the building. And so eventually, due to the water leakage and over time, it just degraded slowly and slowly up until the point where it just couldn't handle the weight of the building above, and it just snapped loose and the building partially collapsed. Now, it's kind of confusing why only that portion of the building collapsed. A surveillance video shows that one part just suddenly started plowing down, and then another portion started going down as well. And if you're wondering what happened to the remaining portion, they decided, after rescuing everyone and all equipment, they decided to just demolish the remaining bit in preparation for Hurricane Elsa, to make sure that precautions are all taken. So this is quite bad. That's happening right now. And so this situation is just getting worse every day. And it's also been discovered that this issue of water leakage and just the overall fact that steel beams and structures were also degrading as well, the fact that all this was happening was actually discovered back in 2018, and it was reported, but no one really listened. It didn't do much. And it was again reported back in April of this year, this time labeled as a very serious and severe condition. But again, no one seemed to have listened. So this situation is very dangerous, and we're gonna have to see what exactly caused this, and who might be responsible, and what exactly happened, and the casualties, and how to move forward and learn from the mistakes that have led to this collapse. So this is a major situation that's going on right now in Miami. Now, let's take a look at the last story for this week, and it is in quite stark contrast to the stories that we've covered until now, but it's related to hockey. The Tampa Bay Lightning have won the 2021 National Hockey League's Stanley Cup Finals. They won against the Montreal Canadiens 4-1 in a best-of-5 games. This is actually the second time in a row that the Tampa Bay Lightning have won the Stanley Cup Finals. The last time was just last year in 2020 when they won against the Dallas Stars 4-2 in best-of-6 games. So this is some good news for Tampa. So good job, Team Tampa. You did it. And that is all of our news of the week for the week of July 3rd to July 10th, 2021. I'm Akash Makoti. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you soon in another News of the Week. Goodbye.